Trust's website. But here's a tip. Tune into the Matt McNeil Show on Thursday and Friday this week for your chance to win tickets. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit hennepintheatertrust.org. That's Wanda Sykes with her Please and Thank You tour stopping in Minneapolis November 16th at the Orpheum. It's an evening you won't want to miss.
Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. for a full hour celebrating LGBTQ stories, culture, and entertainment in Minnesota with This Queer Book Saved My Life and The Gaily Show. Can't catch the shows live? Then listen through your favorite podcasting app. Plus, you can watch The Gaily Show anytime on AM 950's YouTube channel or Facebook page. For all the details, visit thisqueerbook.com or am950radio.com. We'll see you Saturdays at 2 p.m. or anytime via podcast, YouTube, or Facebook.
Let's move safely together, Minnesota. If you're behind the wheel, slow down and watch for people walking, day or night, and stop for people crossing the road. When you're out walking, be alert and look for vehicles in all directions before crossing the road. If you can, cross in a well-lit area. When we work together, everyone gets home safely. This message brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Transportation, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
The 2024 Consumer Reports Best Vehicle Edition is out, and Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are the vehicles for long-term value. 7 of the top 10 most reliable vehicles are Toyotas. In gas mileage, 6 Toyotas are first place in their vehicle class, with the Prius being the best gas mileage vehicle overall. And if you want long-term reliability, Toyotas are some of the best at holding their overall reliability for years. This isn't a dealership hanging its head on one vehicle. Rudy Luther Toyota has an entire inventory of reliability. Get a Toyota today. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 48. Thursday rain with a high near 55. And Friday sunny with a high around 66. Cafe Latte is a hot spot for American eats and house-made desserts in a cafeteria-style setup plus a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte believes ingredients matter, so that's why they never use artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. Dine in at the restaurant off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul or place a takeout order at cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, any cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade.
Oh, and Wakanja Hade is sneezing.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for throwing me under the bus, Haley. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujank, I like to sneeze, and I like to sneeze.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, that's a good thing. And this portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic, or NAC, on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, it's a Ho-Chunk first part of the show, and our friend Arvina Martin's on with Emerge Wisconsin, and so it's Ho-Chunk City. Before we jump in and talk to our great guest, Arvina, we've missed her. I just want to wish everyone here in Minnesota, Native American Heritage Month kickoff, great meeting, great month, and what a thing. And Haley and I will be talking about a little later in the show our experience today and how great the new $34 million upgrade to the Indian Center in Minneapolis looked. It's just a unbelievable building. But first things first, we have Arvina Martin. Welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've missed you. I'm glad we have you on. You're always well talked about when we're ever out in the community about how great you do on our show. And I know it's great to have you in the bullpen too, to be a guest host from time to time. You do a great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, I love my time on Native Roots Radio.
Right on. We do too. So we didn't really prep anything today, but I really would like to start, because this is the shorter segment, and talk a little bit about Emerge Wisconsin, and to remind our listeners out there that Arvina also is a former city council member of Madison, and the first Native American city council member in Madison. And I just want to bring that up and shout it from the rooftops and the hills here, because that's such a big deal. And again, thank you for being on.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks for having me and thanks for the shout out. Yeah. I'm the executive director of Emerge Wisconsin, and Emerge is a program that trains Democratic women and non-binary folks that feel comfortable in female-centered spaces on how to run for office. So, we have trained over 300 women here in Wisconsin, several thousand in the entire United States. And actually, the organization was founded or after a group of women had come together to work on the campaign of Kamala Harris when she was running for district attorney in San Francisco. And their group that went to elect her, kind of solidified and turned into this amazing organization that I get to now lead the Wisconsin affiliate very proudly. So
Was Deb Holland amongst the
yes.
alumni?
Yes, Deb Holland is an alum of the New Mexico program, Emerge New Mexico. So she did the same training that I did. I graduated from the program in 2014, and she was a graduate earlier, I believe, before I did, or before I participated. But
Wow.
yeah,
That's
and
cool.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's cool, because Deb Holland has a heck of a story that's pretty well known to us. A single parent, and was a little upset with the way things were going, and Emerge helped her become a candidate, and look at her now.
Yeah, so we do a full 6-month training program, and we really get into the nitty-gritty in terms of the things that you need to know when you are running for office. So, it's a really comprehensive training. We talk about things like messaging, how to get, opinions into the paper, or how to get stories written about you, as well as how to plan for knocking doors and making phone calls and fundraising. And yeah, I'm fairly sure that the training that now Secretary Holland got in Emerge really helped her prepare for the path that she ultimately is on, and has won several elections herself. So
Yeah, that's awesome. In yourself too, being alumni and now executive director, I think that's a great way things flow in Indian country, but also with Emerge Wisconsin.
yeah, it's nice to kind of come full circle and participate in the program, and I just realized that that was 10 years ago. So yeah, and I still think of my time very fondly, and it feels like yesterday. And now it's really a cool thing to be able to help guide women on that journey themselves, and guide a new group every year, and really see where they go. It's I feel like a proud mama sometimes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
bet. Well, you weren't on our show a few weeks ago, and it was funny because I noticed the same time of the show you were doing some work. What other work do you do? You do some speaking, and then also helping people learn about Native Americans, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, actually, I one of these previous Wednesdays, I did a presentation for folks who are part of the Wisconsin Democratic Party, called Tribes 101, and kind of talked to them, whether they are county party leaders or just party members that want to learn more. We talk about tribal sovereignty, and we talk about how federal Indian law doesn't quite match up to the concept of sovereignty that tribes have, that we believe in, about the importance of having electeds working with their peers in tribal governments, to be able to work on issues that affect both constituencies, and to really see tribal governments as the peer governments that they are, and to not see Native people as a quote special interest group, that we do have a very unique relationship to the U.S. government, and that makes things different. And then we also talk about how to organize and the importance of making sure that you are, during campaigns, reaching out to Native people, but also, including Native people in planning, and making sure that events or other tactics that get used are used appropriately and in responsible ways. So, it's things that folks need to know.
Yeah, definitely. And I do believe I was in one of your sessions at the Democratic convention. Was it last year? I can't even remember.
I
2 years ago?
I think it was last year. Yeah. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yes. And that was my very first presentation, and who popped up to watch, but but Miss Ada Deer herself. And I felt the pressure that very first time because she showed up.
Also, she had a question for you too, in a good way, and that was
Yes.
really awesome that she was there, and it was really
Yes.
awesome to meet her again, and, she's gonna be sorely missed,
Mhm.
and you did mention she was in there, so yeah, wow, and we're here with Arvina Martin and, with Emerge, the executive director of Emerge Wisconsin, and maybe, next part here, we can talk a little bit about, killing dogs and things
Oh
like that.
God.
Seriously.
All right. Hey, Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. We'll be right back.
We are your relatives,
We are your relations,
brothers,
sisters,
sons.
daughters.
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
Homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. Attention, Native American community. As we prepare for American Indian Celebration Month in Minnesota this May, it's essential to prioritize the health and safety of our communities. With social gatherings and festivities on the horizon, getting vaccinated against COVID-19 is crucial. So let's make getting vaccinated a tradition, inclusive, and cross-generational. Imagine gatherings filled with shared stories and cultural celebrations, free from the shadow of COVID-19. Remember, protecting yourself and others is what counts. Whether it's time for an updated vaccine or your first shot, all COVID-19 vaccines offer protection, with the latest vaccine especially recommended for our elders over 65. As we gather with friends and relatives this May for American Indian Celebration Month, let's ensure everyone's safety by getting vaccinated. Together, we can uphold our traditions and keep our communities thriving. For more information, including details about clinics offering free vaccines, visit vaccines.gov. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, I just want to say Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. I had a sneezing attack, and I was unable to do that today, so I wanted to bring that in there. And when Haley and I are out in the public, it's so funny how our allies out there say they really like that. And
they do. Yeah. And today is definitely a good day to be Indigenous here in Minnesota.
Right on. Hey, before we get going, Arvina, our nation is moving forward on a couple things. And one of the things is the casino in Beloit will be this summer, the end of the summer, will be breaking ground. And also, we also have decriminalized marijuana use in the nation. So that's something, both things I'm really proud of, to be a citizen and also my other job with the nation. And it's good to be Ho-Chunk too today.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, I had not heard about the marijuana stuff, but I had seen news reports about the groundbreaking being planned in Beloit. I think that is pretty awesome. That is a project that has been in the works for so long. It's nice to see some ground being broken and actual physical moving stuff around, getting ready for the new site.
Well, and we have to remember, and like you talk about, I'm sure in your 101 Native American, it's like our government gives back money and gives services to our people, unlike other governments. And I just want to remind people that we do casinos in a good way.
Absolutely. I could not have, I'm so grateful for, the scholarships that I received, and being able to go to college and have that less, financial responsibility was such, it was such a, it was such a great thing to have. And, the nation providing educational opportunities when I was growing up, as well as, services for our elders and healthcare service, like all of it. You're not, if you go to a native casino, a tribally run casino, you're not just putting money in a rich guy's pockets. The proceeds do go to some really great things.
And that's by our own law. And that's things that I've learned in the last 3 years, that we do things in a good way for our people. And I'm 62, and as soon as I turn 60, the nation, Ho-Chunk Nation, takes care of you in a lot of different ways. And I can't be more grateful than the support and what I've had in my short time being a citizen of Ho-Chunk Nation, and forever grateful, and always wanted to give back to the nation and our tribal members. And I know, Arvina, you're a rock star, and people know you in the nation, and really, and that's what it's all about, is to create stuff in a good way, whether it's political, business, radio show, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our strengths, and when I mean, I really like the what is, I'm completely blanking on what it's called, but you go through that door, you bring someone with you. Lift while we rise. That's the name of it. Yeah. So just, a door that opens to me, I want to take as many people with me that I can, and let's flood that whole room. And the more we have people in all the different fields, the more we can just flood these rooms full.
Yeah, definitely. And there was thousands of people today in Minneapolis, and Haley and I were energized. I didn't have to take my baby elder nap before the show because we were, but I might after the show. But it's just to what, I think Wellstone used to say it here: when people do good, everybody does good. And I think that's a real tribal thing too.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what society is about. I think, we are social beings, creatures, and we need to help each other out. No, there's not a single person ever that has done something themselves all, completely by themselves from start to finish. It just, you're building on the gift of education that you've gotten. They just, it's to me, it's like the whole basis of society, and how we as humans will get along, or um you know get better. I don't
We have to,
feeling less
I
than
feel like,
eloquent at the moment.
well, I feel like since my 20s on, I've really been taught to live a mantra of to give it away to keep it. And that's been in my sobriety, that's been in monetary ways. That's, whenever I donate money, all of a sudden I get a check for something that I don't know about. And, those things, if you pay attention in a good way, those things come back to you, and in so many different ways, like you're doing here with Emerge Wisconsin.
Absolutely. It's actually funny. So several weeks ago, when um oh gosh, now I'm blanking on his name now. He played much El Machete, Danny Trejo. He Danny Trejo actually said almost the exact same thing about how he found that things went better for him when he started doing good things for other people. And
Mhm.
even even if it doesn't actually change it, it changes how you look at things, and how
Mhm.
maybe you're not getting more actual good things that are actually happening, but you're paying attention to them and you appreciate
Mhm.
them. And they then become that it then becomes that much more positive, and has
Mhm.
that better impact on your life, and it just keeps going. So
That's funny. I know he has quite a few years of sobriety too. So that's interesting that he said that too, and he's BIPOC, and yeah, good point and good words. Hey, I just got a quick question to bring up. I know you got to get going here. How is the redistricting going to affect us? Is it going to take us a few years in Wisconsin to really affect us in a good way, blue wise, or is this something that might happen immediately?
I mean, both houses of the state legislature will be there won't be such a drastic, red versus blue difference. Instead of like 60 and 30, there's actually 99 representatives in the state assembly, but instead of, in the 60s, and then in the 30s or the 20s, a Republican versus Democrat, it'll be a lot more even. And the Senate does not elect an entirely new body every year, or every 2 years. So they are on staggered 4-year terms. So half of the state Senate will be up for election this fall, and the other half will not. So that'll be a little bit different, but you know, these districts are a lot more moderate, or are going to be a lot more moderate, because the composition is not, I mean, it's not gerrymandered anymore, as gerrymandered anymore.
Mhm.
And so you've got people that are going to be in districts that are congruent to each, and compact. And that means that there's going to be, I think, a big moderating force, and touch on the state assembly as well as the state senate. So
Yeah, so it'll be a process then, and thank goodness, for Governor Evers who, sends us a weekly update here on Native Roots Radio. Thank goodness.
absolutely, those were his lines, that were ultimately chosen. So those were districts that his office created, or
Yeah.
it's based on it. I can't remember if it's the exact or not. So um but yeah, we're grateful to have Governor Evers. He definitely vetoed a lot of really bad really terrible legislation. And so we're glad that he was able to do that.
Well, we got less than a minute, right? Haley, Haley, I almost called you Ogma because I saw we saw all my old producers all in one place, and we got a picture of us, and that was exciting. And
Yay.
Oh, that's fun.
yeah,
We got about a minute though right now.
cool. So Arvina, we got a minute left. What would you like to spit out there? Maybe a website, Facebook, or what you're working on next, or what's happening with the merge?
Yeah, well, we are in the middle of our training year. We have 2 training weekends under our belt, and if you are interested and want to learn what it takes to be a great political candidate, if you want to learn all the things that you'll need to know to run for office, you should get a hold of me. My email is Arvina, ARVINA at emergewi.org. You can also go to our website, wi.emergeamerica.org, to find out more information about the kind of work that we do.
Wow, a big Pinagigi. Thank you so much, Arvina. It's always great to have you on the show, and always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Yes, thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
As we gear up for American Indian Celebration Month in May, it's crucial to prioritize our health, especially with celebrations on the horizon. If you start feeling off, like a fever, a tickle in the throat, or heavy fatigue, don't ignore it. Take an at-home COVID-19 test right away. And remember, if you're not feeling well, it's okay to stay home. Your health comes first. A quick note on COVID testing. The Minnesota Department of Health's free COVID-19 at-home testing program has ended. But don't worry, if you're uninsured, you can still find no-cost tests using the CDC's COVID-19 testing locator. If you have health insurance, you might be eligible for free tests or reimbursement for testing expenses. Just ask your local pharmacy or health insurance provider for more information. Stay informed, stay protected. Let's prioritize our health this American Indian Celebration Month in May and ensure our communities and elders remain safe and healthy. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health. Visit health.state.mn.us.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
If you're hurting in your relationship or have been affected by sexual violence, you're not alone. Strong Hearts Native Helpline can help you through these difficult and uncertain times. Strong Hearts Helpline is a free 24/7 confidential domestic dating and sexual violence helpline for Native Americans. Help is available by calling 1-844-762-8483 or by clicking on the Chat Now icon on strongheartshelpline.org. This message is sponsored by the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center.
No matter if you're eating out or cooking something at home, eatlocalminnesota.com has you covered with a list of locally owned restaurants and food purveyors. Locally owned Vinaigrette has been offering the finest olive oil and vinegar since 2009. Reintroduce yourself to all the many flavors by tasting before you buy. From darker white balsamic to cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil from all over the world, there is something for everyone. Vinaigrette, located at 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis, or at vinaigrettemn.com. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for fun. Enjoy the fantastic food like their pizzas, burgers, and sandwiches, the best bowling in Minnesota, their wildly popular outdoor patio, great drink specials, all the big games on their numerous screens, and it's the perfect place for your next private event, even large gatherings for over 200. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for everyone. Have fun at the Park Tavern, Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 48, Thursday rain with a high near 55, and Friday sunny with a high around 66. Since 1984, Cafe Latte has been serving up the freshest baked goods and modern comfort food in a cafeteria setting. Their menu is prepared with the best ingredients available. Cafe Latte is a leader in sustainable dining, composting their food and paper waste along with recycling everything they can. Located off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul, or at cafelatte.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Everybody, I'm so happy to be here today. I can't wait for you to walk through these doors. It is incredibly beautiful, and I've got a little sneak peek last week and was completely overwhelmed and had tears in my eyes because we deserve this space. Our community deserves this space. Yes. You guys just follow me around and just do this forever. I appreciate it. Writers were real humble people. And super good looking. But I will just say this. The work of Mary Lagarde, the dedication, the tenacity, the just unending advocacy on the Capitol campaign, but also at the Minnesota State Capitol. We are here for this ribbon cutting because of her heart and because of her love for the urban Native community.
Hey, that was a little excerpt from our Lieutenant Governor Flanagan here in Minnesota, and that was the ribbon cutting of today's. Today it happened today, and it was at the American Indian Center in Minneapolis, which is just unbelievably beautiful, Haley.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I think the whole day was just, a gathering of celebrations and events. First off, happy American Indian Celebration Month, Minnesota. This is, we're probably one of the only states that dedicates a whole month to American Indians. And we just have such a rich community, and especially our urban community. So it was great to be at the parade with everyone this morning and then end up out at the ribbon cutting ceremony at the Minneapolis American Indian Center.
I was talking to somebody today because, the American Indian movement was and is a big part of that community and our community in the state and all over the Turtle Island. Somebody said to me, wish Clyde was there to see it. And I said, well, I did the old, he is here. And she said, yeah, you're right. And there's all these things that these elders fought for us that sometimes we take for granted. And it's hard not to, because a lot of us are younger and didn't go through all the things that our relatives did. Or that had they gone through. So, this month and today was just a big celebration of us surviving, and we're still here, and a lot of smiles and happiness running into people we haven't seen in a long time, and many people, like you said, Haley, that have been on our show.
Yeah, no, it really felt like just a big gathering of everyone that's been on Native Roots Radio the past year. And it's such a blessing. And I think too, like when we're in spaces like this and we do ceremonies and we put tobacco down and we're saging, we're smudging off a new space. It's, we do remember our ancestors and those who came before us and who laid the groundwork for us to be, thriving in Minneapolis and St. Paul and in our urban communities, but then also too across the state and in tribal leadership as well. So we're always thinking of, our leaders that came before us.
Yeah, there was quite a few people, leaders there. I do believe Boyce Fort and Leech Lake and Red Lake were in the house, and good to see them. And White Earth, yeah, thank you. Good to see them supporting their urban relatives, coming
Yeah.
down and supporting them.
Yeah, I know a lot of relatives made the drive down from our northern tribal communities. So a big pinagigi to everyone who showed up today. It was just so fun. And what beautiful weather that, Creator gave us today after all this much needed rain. And we finally got some of that sunshine to walk with all of our relatives.
Really good point. Really, really good point. And then we got to see Keith Sokola, and that was fun.
I know. I was going around with my smudge stick, just walking around the building, but as everyone was entering, and actually Keith and David were coming in the back entrance, and it was funny just to kind of go chat with them and joke around. But in all seriousness, the gym was beautiful. That's where they performed today at the American Indian Center, and they kept all of the old original bleachers. I noticed. Yeah, so that was really cool. Again, David Huckfelt and Keith Sokola. If you missed that interview yesterday on Native Roots Radio, you can go on our Facebook or AM 950's website and check that out. But I mean, just amazing. I know they did Indian Cars, which is one of Keith's very famous songs.
Right.
And they did it twice. And, it just, the great atmosphere that music like that we can relate to as Indigenous people, it's like it really sparks something in the air in a room like that.
Yeah, wow, really good point. And I know the second time they played it, they had the hoop dancers out there, and that's a lot going on there. I'd probably break a hip if I was trying to do the hoop dance, and they had a young one too doing it with them, and
yeah,
just beautiful. And I want to say Stately's store is in there too. We got to see
Charlie
that.
Stately.
Thank you. Yeah, Charlie's store is in there, and
What
goodness,
is this called? Indian Wood Crafts, right?
yeah, something like that. Hey, look at we have looks like Bob Blake from Red Lake is in a car. We're gonna have to get him on there and wish him get him on the show here real quick. Let's see how he's doing. Hey,
Hey,
look
how's
at
it
you.
going, Robert?
Going great. We were just talking about the big Indian Day celebration at the Indian Center and the new digs there.
Isn't that wonderful? That's beautiful. Mary Lagarde did such a great job on that.
Mhm.
And Sam Oldixon, he was the architect for that. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so much bigger too. We were talking about being in the gym, and they reused the old seats, the wooden seats that will probably last longer than you and I will ever, because they're made correctly back there in the 60s and 70s. But they had the murals in there that were outside, and yeah. And looking to the left, I always looked outside, and there was things happening over there.
And how wonderful is that place going to be to like serve the community with more programming, right? To help our community. And I also heard too, Robert, that the restaurant is going to be like bigger too. It's going to be
Yeah, it is. We went in there, and it's huge, and they were handing out cake and some turkey meatballs that I had one too many of, but those were delish.
Yeah, that's so awesome, and I'm so happy for the community. That Indian Center, when you think about the Indian Center, that's like an historical landmark, like in Indian country, that the Minneapolis American Indian Center. You know what I mean? But that's where AIM, like all that. I mean, just so much history is in that building.
You talk about this. I remember Clyde being in a meeting with the city and the mayors and everybody there, and now they have bigger rooms to do that. But you're right, it is historic in many ways. The first Native America New Year's Eve powwow, sobriety powwow, is happening there for many years, and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, no, so much history there. I mean, I can remember as a kid going there. I remember my dad was working security at the powwow. My dad was a security guy there. He was working security. I mean, that's so long ago. I don't even remember that when that was, but I was just a kid.
Right. Oh yeah. And what was amazing we were talking about is there was thousands of people there, and there's so many people that I haven't seen since COVID. It was just amazing.
Oh, wow. That is so great that space is there. And like I said, I mean, Mary did such a great job at raising money for that. I mean, I want to say, what was it, like 25 million? Or I mean, it was a lot of money
It was 34 million.
Wow, that is ridiculous. And for all the folks that help participate and like getting that money there and putting it together for the community is simply awesome, Robert. I can't say enough. Miigwech to everybody that helped put that that helped donate and get that going for our community.
Absolutely. And the Lieutenant Governor Flanagan was there with the ribbon cutting, and there's people missing too that are in legislature that really helped support getting money to get this done. And we want to give a shout out to State Senator Mary Kunish and Representative Heather Keeler and all the rest of them that really champion this towards
Robert Lilligren. I know you have him on here, Robert, but his organization played a pivotal role in just like that whole corridor now. I mean,
right.
I mean, let's just think back to the days of like Mr. Arthur's and the Corral and, all those like bars that were there. Now it's replaced with this beautiful, Indian Center and, the Native American Community Clinic and, things that actually are serving the community, you know what I mean? And being a positive influence instead of a bunch of bars,
Yeah, and to give thanks to our Uncle Clyde, who has always kind of reminded me in a good way that AIM had a lot to do, and he had a lot to do with that new corridor, and he's truly missed, and hopefully we can I know there's a American Indian Movement office there too.
Yeah, it's right. Yep, it's right there where Maria's Cafe is located. And Robert, just like everything everything that is happening there, Bob Rice over there at the powwow grounds. Yep. And all up and down there, and just that whole revitalization. I mean, big shout out to all our community leaders that have done such a great job there, that really serving the community too with positive programming and positive services, and like I said, instead of just a bunch of bars.
Hey Bob, I know you're in a hot car. Can you do a couple updates the next segment and we'll let you go?
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Yeah, and also turn on your air conditioner while we're on commercial break. Ho! We'll be right back. Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. Howl!
Hi, I'm Chuck Manette, owner of Native Concrete and Masonry. Whether it's cracks in your existing sidewalks, steps, chimney restoration, or a whole new project, you can trust our team to ensure satisfaction through detailed planning and precision. Native Concrete and Masonry is a Native American-owned business, and we have worked with our clients throughout the Twin Cities metro area. We work closely with our clients to accomplish our initiatives. Learn more at nativeconcretemasonry.com.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, we have our friend Robert Blake, Solar Bear with the Solar News. He's the owner of Solar Bear and also CEO of nonprofit Native Sun. And we're here with Robert Blake. And thanks for jumping on. We got you on a little early too, and that's good. But we always liked your positive updates about what's going on. And I'll tell you, Robert, I learned so much from you, and I can bring back to places and talk about and make sense, because what I hear on Native Roots Radio, specifically from what comes out of your sacred mouth.
Oh no.
Oh,
Is
no?
he there?
Robert. He must have turned the
Bob Blake from Red
air
Lake.
conditioning on.
Am I there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is really interesting because I can't seem to look at my fact report and still talk to you all. 1 second.
You need two phones.
Yeah. So Robert, 33% of electricity provided by renewables. Renewable source provided 33% of Minnesota's electricity, including wind, solar, hydro, and biomass. This last year, 33%.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And get this, Robert, 54%, right? Let me pull this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we lost him.
He's got to pull it up.
So that's interesting. I wonder if he can hear us too, because Bob Blake from Red Lake. Oh, there he is.
It won't let me. I'm sorry, everybody, but it won't let me pull up my fact sheet on the phone here.
Well, that's the Solar Bear with the Solar News.
I know that's the Solar News, guys.
Yeah, that was a big one, though.
Okay, Haley, go to Clean Energy Economy, Minnesota fact sheet.
Oh, God. Clean American Economy.
Clean Energy Economy, Minnesota, CEM fact sheet. Just Google, everyone out there, Google CEEM fact sheet.
Okay.
Well, we don't want everyone to know this, and they'll have their own radio show.
Right. But I think that this is great information for anyone, because it really shows what exactly Minnesota and where they're getting their renewable energy at. This is a fact sheet that's out there for everyone to check out, because I think it shows really how good we're doing, Robert, as a state, and the policies that is driving our economy. And there was an interesting report that just came out on governors that are taking advantage of the Inflation Reduction Act, Robert.
Yeah.
And those governors are really investing in renewable energy. And one of the things that's driving folks to come work in those states and those areas is the fact from younger people seeing that those communities are investing in this, and through that cheap energy, it's really sparking the economy. And so I, what I see And what I see, Robert, is that if folks are, if states are investing in renewable energy, continue to do this, those are the ones that are really going to be the big winners, I believe, in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what this report is going to show. Haley, were you able to pull it up?
Yeah, I do have it on here. Minnesota wind and solar capacity additions for the state of 2023. We've added a lot of solar. It looks like, I feel like we've had a lot of wind, but now we're trying to add that solar too. So we've definitely increased that in 2023, and almost, it looks like we're matching 2020 a little bit. So a break in the pandemic years, but hopefully coming back out strong.
So if you go out towards western Minnesota, and Robert, do you remember when we went down to the presidential debate and we saw all those wind
For
towers?
miles.
Yeah. And that's really what's happening out there on the western part of the state. They're producing a lot of wind energy out there, but that energy has to travel lines. And
Right.
so that's why, you see a big push around, solar, because that solar that is being produced is being used right on site, wherever you have that solar, put at. So, that's always the most efficient way, the cheapest way to do it. But out there, that's where all that wind is coming from. And it's really providing a lot of power to the Twin Cities area.
Mhm.
Yep. And
That's great.
those are
So-
XL Energy projects, Robert, by the way.
Oh, well, we need to get Indian country on that. One of the things too that you're kind of saying is that so the longer that these power lines underneath from the wind turbines go, the more like energy leaks out of the pipeline, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So, like, the farther that electricity has to travel, the more that we lose, right, from that.
Mhm.
So
But
that is actually a very, very good analogy of how that works. But like I said, Robert, I mean, Minnesota is doing great with our policies, with our renewable energy, you know whether it be renewable, whether it be solar, it be hydro, biomass, I mean, in northern Minnesota, where we have a lot of trees at, I mean,
Yeah.
folks, we could do biomass up there, and it's like the Saudi Arabia of, like, the world, honestly,
Yeah.
with all the trees up there, because
Yeah.
you have to turn those trees, Robert, because if you don't, those trees will end up becoming tinder, and that's where
Right.
you get a lot of the wildfire, right? And so those
Yep.
things, that's just healthy, keeping a healthy
Yeah.
ecosystem, so to speak.
And managing it, and I know over the years that that hasn't happened, and there were some fires up there, and that's I remember hearing about that. Okay, Robert, we only got a minute left. Any other news? What are you doing right now? Going any big speaking engagements? We can come see you.
Yeah, I've got speaking engagements planned out throughout the year. I'm going to Chicago here next week. The week after that, I got to go to Washington, D.C. Lots of good stuff coming up, everyone, and I'll be reporting on it on the next solar news with the Solar Bear.
Right on. Hey, thank you so much for stopping in and giving us all this positive stuff, Robert. Really.
Miigwech. Thank you, everyone.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks. Wow, that was awesome, Robert Blake from Red Lake. I have to say that at least one time a show, right, Haley?
Oh, absolutely. More than once too, if you want to.
Yeah, it goes so well. Well, again, what a ending of a great day.
Mhm.
And we have a couple guests on tomorrow. I don't know if you want to give a little teaser before we take off here.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have some of our friends back from Strong Hearts Native Helpline. Rachel will be joining us. Rachel is based in Michigan, and we're going to be just talking about Strong Hearts Native Helpline and kind of how that correlates to our MMIR, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives, because May is MMIR Awareness Month.
Yes, it is. Oh, wow. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on, it's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. Vote. Vote blue no matter who. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
And free Leonard Peltier.
Hi, this is